Football Overseas, your favorite sports hub where passion meets sports. Whether it's club football, international tournaments, or global leagues, we bring every game, every story, every debate straight to you. During the international break, every continent comes alive on our channel, Eurovision, all things Europe, Nations League, Euros, FIFA WC qualifiers. Goal Plus Africa, Africa's Heartbeat, AFCON, CHAN, COSAFA Cup, FIFA WC qualifiers. Libertadores Vision, South America Uncovered, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, WC qualifiers. Silk Dynasty, Asia Spotlight, Asian Cup, WC qualifiers. Harambee Stars Unleashed, everything about Kenya's national team. When club football dominates, we go deeper. United Frontline, the ultimate Man United fan experience. Echoes of Anfield, Liverpool like you've never seen it. House of Galacticos, Real Madrid Uncovered. Premier League Game Month Show, stats, analysis, insights every 4 game weeks. Champions Crystal Ball, UEFA Tournaments, Club World Cup, Super Cup predictions. Final Whistle Debate Show, the hottest sports topics debated by experts, every 6 weeks. Deal Paranoia, transfer window coverage you can't miss. And for weekly predictions? We cover everything: Premier League, Championship, FA Cup, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, League One, DStv Premiership, T20 Cricket, F1, Women's Super League, international tournaments, and much more. Why subscribe? Because we don't just show games, we predict, analyze, debate, and break the stories that matter. From transfers to tactical battles, from managerial appointments to live watch-alongs, Football Overseas gives you the edge no other channel does. This is your hub for global sports, where every match counts, every opinion matters, and every fan belongs. Subscribe, join the debate, and fuel your passion. The game doesn't wait, and neither should you.
Okay, see. Okay, hey guys, welcome to World Cup 2026, and we are live. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I'm like what minutes late? Yeah, I'm like 2 hours late. I thought the stream was going to begin around 28 minutes ago. I lost track of time, and apologies for that. But we are live for World Cup games, and this is Group E. Entertaining teams. There's Germany. Germany qualified to the World Cup 2026, and Germany is looking to go further in the World Cup because last time out in the World Cup 2022, Germany ended up being in the World Cup 2022. So in this World Cup group, Germany ended up being knocked out. There were with Spain, Germany, Japan, and Croatia. If I'm not wrong, Croatia and Costa Rica. Yeah. So Germany looks to make it to the World Cup round of 16. They look to make it to the round of 16 this time. They had a disappointing World Cup last time out. Also, we have teams like Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast didn't make it to the World Cup 2022. And then we have teams like Curaçao, that's North American side. They did not make it to the World Cup 2022. They're having the World Cup debut. Ivory Coast, I'm not so sure whether Ivory Coast is having the World Cup debut, but yeah, Ivory Coast has appeared in 3 World Cup appearances. They qualified for the 2026. They did not qualify for 2022, 2018. So they qualified for 2014, 2010, and 2006. So those are 3 World Cups. And what is that? Yeah, so those are 3 World Cups that Ivory Coast had qualified for. So they're back in the World Cup after missing the last two World Cups. And last time they were in the World Cup was in Brazil, and Ecuador was in the World Cup 2022. Ecuador was in it. It was in Group A, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Ecuador was in Group A. They didn't make it to the knockout stage. They were knocked out at group stage. So we have two teams who are knocked out at group stage: Germany and Ecuador, who did not make it through. Cura- Curacao is making the World Cup debut. So that's a new team in the World Cup as well. And yeah, so it's a lot of a blast from the past. We have two teams looking to go further in the World Cup 2026. We have we have a returning team, Ivory Coast, and we have a new team, Curacao. So we'll start with the first team, Germany. Germany is looking to go through to the World Cup, to the group stage, to the knockout stage. Last time out, Germany was placed in a group with Spain, Japan, and Costa Rica. So in what happened with this round? No, round. Yeah. So what happened is group, and Germany was on the path to qualifying, but due to the miracles of Spain's group, yeah. So due to how Spain and Japan went through. That's what knocked Germany out because let me look at it. Yeah. So it was Spain and Japan. Spain was meant to beat Japan. Japan did not. Japan beat Spain, and that would knock Germany out. And Germany did that job against Costa Rica. It was Spain that let Germany down by losing to Japan. So if Spain did not lose to Japan and they beat Japan, Germany will have advanced. So Germany has learned their mistakes from that last World Cup. They are looking to do better in this World Cup. They are placed in an easier group. They have Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao. So they come into this World Cup group as favorites of the World Cup 2026 group. Players to look out for in the German national team is people like Musiala, um, Neuer, and other players as well. Also, also what is another player to look out for? And Germany, and so this is Nagelsmann's World Cup. Yeah. So this is Nagelsmann's second World Cup. Also, Stoltenberg, Germany has a good defensive team. They have a good defensive team. Their midfield is excellent midfield, and they have a good attacking side. So there's a lot of talent coming up in the Germany squad. There's a lot of prospects. I think I'll go with the odds. I'll go with the odds and say Germany will top the group 9 points. I'm going with 9 points, and I feel like they'll get all the wins in this World Cup group. They'll advance, and if they manage to advance, they'll play against. Yeah, so I think they'll go further. They'll manage to go to the quarterfinals and be knocked out in the quarterfinals, but it will be a better performance than how they performed in the 2022 World Cup. Yeah, so next and also Germany heads into this World Cup as well after how did they perform the Euros? Yeah, so in the Euros 2024, Germany won was knocked out in the quarterfinals. They played against Spain. Obviously, hopefully this time they're not playing against Spain this time. In the group stage, Germany played against in the group stage they played against Switzerland, Scotland, Hungary. So they've made it to the quarterfinals. So obviously they'll be hungry this time in the World Cup to make it further. They'll be looking to revenge the World Cup 2022 performance. They'll be looking to make it further than that because in the Euros they made it to the quarterfinals. They'll be looking to make it to the semi-finals of the World Cup to show progress. And yeah, so I think they'll make it to the semi-finals of quarterfinals. But obviously they'll advance from this group. That's the obvious thing. Next is Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast comes into this World Cup after a good performance in the AFCON. Ivory Coast will be proud of the performance in the AFCON 2025. In the AFCON 2025, they were placed in a group where they dominated that group, over dominated that group, I would say. Um, they came into AFCON 2025 being defending champions. Obviously, in in the group they are placed with people like Mozambique, Gabon, Cameroon, and most and they managed to get a draw against Cameroon. They beat Ivory Coast, they beat Gabon to an entertaining 3-2 performance, and they narrowly beat Mozambique as well. At the knockout stage, they performed quite well in the knockout stage. They smashed Burkina Faso 3-0, and unluckily they were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Egypt 3-2. They didn't finish their chances. Obviously, in this World Cup, they'll be looking to finish their chances. That's a weakness that knocks them out of the AFCON 2025 in this World Cup. They need to improve on finishing their chances. But apart from that, think if they finish their chances, they will have been knocked out in the semi-finals at least. They will have done themselves proud. Yeah. So obviously they qualified for the last. Yeah, so they also played AFCON 2023, if I'm not wrong. That AFCON they played very well. They ended up winning the AFCON 2023. That's why they ended up heading to the AFCON 2025 as defending champions. So Ivory Coast is a team where you should not underestimate. They have a good defensive side. They have a little useful attacking side like Ahmad, the Monde, and others as well. And our midfield is a midfield to strike for as well. So I think Ivory Coast will advance. They'll have to advance. They'll shock Ecuador, then obviously shock Ecuador and beat Ecuador. They beat Kuroka, Kura, Curacao, and they'll finish the World Cup group with 6 points. Obviously, when I asked Cloud AI thinks that Ivory Coast will finish the World Cup with 4 points, get a draw against Ecuador and beat Curacao. Yeah, so in this World Cup group, World Cup group, they will advance. I see them advancing past the round of 16. I see them shocking some teams. But if they meet a difficult team, they could be knocked out in round of 16. But if they meet an easier team, they'll be knocked out in quarterfinals. They'll do well, quite well, to impress Africa and do well on in the African continent because last time out, an African team qualified for World Cup was Morocco, who impressed Africa, who represented Africa well and went to the semi-finals. Can Ivory Coast do go further and take Ivory Coast to can Ivory Coast take the mantle from Morocco and go to the final? You never know. Maybe they can, maybe they can shock, but it's unlikely. They'll go out in round of 16 most likely. If they push it, quarterfinals. Same as Germany. They'll go out in quarterfinals. If they push it, it will be semifinals. Next team is Ecuador. Ecuador is a very defensive side. The way they line up in the World Cup 2022. So Ecuador in the 2022 World Cup, they were in Group A. They had teams like Netherlands, Senegal, Qatar. So Ecuador beat Qatar. That was the only win in the World Cup 2022. They beat they drew to Netherlands 1-1 and they lost to Senegal 2-1. If they had held on to a draw of 1-1, they will advance. They'll have advanced to the round of 16, but they did not hold on. And how did they do in the qualifiers? For this World Cup, they did quite well in the qualifiers for South America. They finished the qualifiers with finishing second with 29 points. So they did quite well in the qualifiers. But obviously, they head into a tough group where Ivory Coast is a balanced team with defense, midfield, attack, same as Germany. So Ecuador lacks that attacking side. They lack the attacking side. So I think they'll finish third. A third won't be that bad. They'll finish with 3 points. They'll get points against Karaku. And yeah, obviously, Cloud AI predicted Ecuador to get a draw against Ivory Coast and to get a win against Karaku. So obviously that can happen as well, but I doubt. Cloud AI still predicted them to finish third, and they still finished third anyway. So I don't think they'll go that far, but obviously they'll beat the new team, Karaku. Next is Karaku. Karaku did well in the qualifiers for North America. For them to make it to the World Cup is a good achievement. I was surprised on how they performed quite well. I think to top that group. They topped that group. They had that group in the qualifiers. They had a group of Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Bermuda. So they topped that group with 12 points. Nauri topping the group with 1 point gap above Jamaica. Jamaica did not perform quite well as they would have loved to, and that's what made Jamaica go to the international conference playoffs. Each Jamaica is meant to play other teams, but Jamaica is not in this group, so we'll not dwell much into it. But what I know about this team is it is mostly a Dutch populated nation. That populated nation, they have good players that cool if they decided to play for this national team. This national team will have made it to the semi-finals. They have players like Van Dijk. They have a lot of Dutch players who are linked with the roots to this nation as well. So unluckily, mostly most of them did not choose to play for this nation. They chose to play for the motherland, um, Denmark, Netherlands. But it's a nation with good football talent that will have taken them far. And it's just good to see them making their World Cup debut in this group. Obviously, they come into this group facing tough teams. They face a defensive side, Ecuador. They face a balanced side, Ivory Coast, and they face a talented side, Germany. Oh, they won't get points in this group. It's obvious they won't get points, but they'll get learning opportunities that they can use to do better and improve their games. Apart, I think this team will be mostly a team that other teams will be grabbing points off. And yeah, I think that wraps it up for the preview. So thank you guys for joining the preview. Make sure you smash the subscribe button,